Hi everyone, welcome to Talk Easy. Today in our studio, Catherine and Mike will be talking about checking in at the airport.
All right, buckle up everyone for another deep dive. Today, we're all about conquering a situation that can be a little, let's say, nerve-wracking, especially for those of us traveling internationally.
Oh, yeah.
Airport check-in. And not just any check-in, but check-in completely in English.
It's a fantastic topic.
Yes.
And the sources you dug up.
Yeah.
Super interesting. I mean, one really focuses on those, like, practical phrases. You know, the vocabulary you got to know.
Yeah.
And the other one, it's like, it dives into the whole culture thing, the etiquette of English-speaking airports.
It's wild, isn't it? You think about it. English, it's everywhere. But even then, there are these, like, little variations. You know how it's used in different airports almost?
Oh, for sure.
Like regional dialects, but for airports.
Absolutely. And you know what? Understanding those little things, those nuances, they can make a huge difference in how smoothly you get through check-in.
Yeah.
It's not just about knowing the words. It's about knowing how to use them right.
Okay, so let's break this down. We got these two sources, right? We got one, it's like our airport phrase book. And the other one, it's almost like an etiquette guide for the airport. What really jumped out at you when you were looking through these?
You know, they both really hammer home that you got to master certain phrases.
Okay.
But they go deeper than just the basics. Like one of them points out this difference, right? Saying something like, I have a problem with my booking versus, could you please help me with my booking?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, because the first one, it's like, hey, you messed up.
Exactly.
But the second one, it's like, hey, can we work on this together?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like you're asking for help instead of like pointing fingers.
Yeah, it's setting the tone, right?
Totally. And it's not just about being polite, it's also about being clear, so there's no confusion. Like one of the sources said to use specific words like gate and connecting flight.
Right.
Instead of just saying like where I need to go or my next plane.
Yeah. Yeah, the more specific you are, the less room for like miscommunication. Right?
Exactly.
But it's not all about the fancy words either. One source I noticed, it really stressed these little words, like almost throwaway words.
Oh, yeah.
Please and thank you.
Oh, they're crucial. It's like they seem small, but they make you sound so much more respectful.
Especially in, cultures where politeness is really important.
For sure.
So it's almost like you're speaking two languages at the same time. The words themselves and then this language of etiquette.
Absolutely. You got to be aware of the context, right? The culture.
All right. So we've got the vocab down. We've got the etiquette. What about the actual check-in process itself? Any little tricks or tips that stood out to you in the sources?
One source, it gave this great advice about online check-in. It said, don't just check in online, right?
Yeah.
Get familiar with the airline's app.
I don't always do that, but that's a good point.
Oh, it can be a lifesaver. Like if there are any last-minute changes or updates.
Yeah, totally.
And speaking of being prepared, another source, they had this brilliant tip about baggage allowance.
Oh, baggage allowance.
It said, don't just check the allowance online.
Yeah.
Weigh your bags at home before you even leave for the airport.
Oh, that's so smart. I can't tell you how many times I've been like right there at the counter, frantically shoving things from one bag to another.
It's a classic travel fail.
Yeah.
But a little planning ahead of time, way less stress.
It seems like these sources are all about like empowering the traveler, like you're in control.
Exactly. Be prepared, take charge. That's the message I got loud and clear from both of them. They want you to have the know-how,
Skills to just breeze through the airport.
even if something unexpected happens.
Yeah, so it's not just learning a few phrases, it's a whole mindset.
It really is.
Be prepared, be self-reliant.
And that's a skill that goes way beyond the airport.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. Okay, so we've talked about the vocabulary, the etiquette, being prepared. What about those like oh no moments?
Oh, yeah.
Flights delayed, passports gone missing.
The joys of travel, right?
Oh.
One source actually gave some good phrases for dealing with those pesky flight delays.
Okay.
Big thing they stressed. Stay calm, be polite, and ask for specific info. Like the new departure time, gate number.
Because it's easy when things go wrong to just completely forget,
Oh, yeah.
Basic English, even.
It's like your brain just shuts down. So having those phrases ready, it can really help.
Yeah, big time.
Even something as simple as, like, if you lose your passport, I've lost my passport, can you help me?
It sounds so basic,
I know, right?
but in that moment of panic,
Oh, totally. Having those key phrases memorized
Uh-huh.
is like having a safety net.
It's like a script almost for those oh no moments. But sometimes it's not just the words, right?
No, no, no.
It's how you say them.
One of the sources, it was all about that nonverbal stuff. Like make eye contact, smile, speak clearly, project confidence.
Fake it till you make it. A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Because confidence, it can be contagious. If you seem confident, airport staff are more likely to, respond positively.
And that can make a huge difference in how smoothly things go.
Huge, yeah.
So it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Be prepared, be confident,
Absolutely.
and be ready to ask for help if you need it.
Exactly, exactly. It's like this combo, right? Language skills, knowing the culture, and that can-do attitude.
Okay, so we've kind of laid the groundwork here, but I'm really itching to dive into the specifics. Those phrases, those scenarios that the sources give. Because let's be real, there's nothing like a good role play to get those language skills flowing.
Oh, I agree. Let's jump into some real-life examples and see how we can use these tips and phrases to, check in like we've done a million times before.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's picture this. We're in the airport terminal,
I love it.
right there at the check-in counter.
Okay.
And the agent, super friendly, says, "Good morning. Can I see your passport and ticket, please?" What do?
All right, well, one of our sources was really adamant about this. Don't just, shove your documents at them.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's about those little things.
It's the social cues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So eye contact, smile. I'd say something like, "Good morning, here you are."
Perfect. You acknowledge them, you're being polite, and it just makes it more personal,
Yeah, it's like I'm not just another face in the line.
Exactly. It's a much better way to start the whole interaction.
Yeah.
Okay, but now, what if they hit you with the dreaded question, "Do you have any bags to check?" And you suddenly realize, uh-oh, I might be over the weight limit.
Oh, the baggage allowance.
Yeah.
The classic.
Happens to everyone. But hey, remember that source that said, weigh your bags at home? Did you do it?
Well, let's just say, for the sake of the scenario,
Okay, right.
I was a little too optimistic about how much those souvenirs weighed.
Oh, no. Okay, so you're standing there sweating a little bit, probably,
Yeah.
thinking, maybe I can cram some of this into my carry-on? What do?
Don't panic. That's what those pre-prepared phrases are for, right?
Hmm.
One of the sources, they suggested saying something like, "I'm not sure if this bag is over the limit. Could you check it for me, please?"
Way better than just standing there like, I think it's kind of heavy.
Right.
Yeah, it shows you're aware of the rules and you're willing to cooperate. It gives the agent a chance to help you out.
Okay, but let's say, worst case scenario,
Okay.
the bag is overweight.
It happens.
Yeah,
Might have to pay a little fee. Sometimes they're a bit steep. But just remember, stay calm, be polite.
right. So I could say something like, "Okay, I understand. What are my payment options?"
Exactly. You're taking responsibility. You're ready to follow the rules.
Perfect.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Another common travel hiccup, the dreaded flight delay.
Ugh, the worst.
But they happen. What's important is to stay informed, get the info you need. So if they announce a delay, what do?
I don't just collapse in defeat.
No. This is your chance to use those assertive but polite phrases. One source suggested saying, "Excuse me, I heard my flight has been delayed. Could you please confirm the new departure time and gate number?"
Okay, yeah, so I'm getting the details I need to figure out my next move.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask follow-up questions, like, is there a lounge I can use, or are there any updates on why it's delayed? Be proactive.
It's about advocating for yourself.
Yes. Okay, now for a real travel nightmare scenario.
Uh-oh.
Losing your passport.
Okay, my heart rate just went up a little bit.
Yeah, it's stressful. But again, those pre-prepared phrases, they can be lifesavers.
Yeah.
So if you realize your passport is gone, what do? One source said, take a deep breath, stay calm, and find an airport staff member. Say something clear and simple like, "I've lost my passport. Can you help me?"
It sounds so simple when you say it like that.
I know, right?
But in the moment, I can imagine just blanking.
That's why practice is key. So it just comes naturally. Okay, you've told someone. What next?
I don't just sit down and cry, do I?
No, crying won't help. Remember what we talked about with cultural awareness. One source really emphasized that in English-speaking cultures, you got to be assertive but respectful.
So I should explain everything calmly, clearly, and be ready to give them any information they need, like flight details, passport number, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for guidance. You can say, "What should I do now?" Or who should I contact to report this?
It's about being proactive, but staying calm and respectful.
Yes. Now let's move away from disasters for a bit. Let's talk about those cultural nuances we mentioned.
Okay, the unspoken rules.
Exactly. Like one source pointed out that in lots of English-speaking countries, queuing etiquette, it's a big deal.
The art of the queue.
Patience, personal space, waiting your turn, cutting in line. Huge no-no.
So no matter how tempting that duty-free shop is, I gotta wait my turn.
Exactly. And remember, eye contact, a simple, goes a long way when you're moving through a crowd.
It's those little things that can make you seem, I don't know, more polite, more aware.
Absolutely. Speaking of those little things, let's talk about tipping. Customs can be so different everywhere. It's always good to, do a little research.
So what I do in my home country might not be the right thing to do in an English-speaking airport.
Exactly. Like in the U.S., you usually tip baggage handlers.
Yeah.
But in other places, not so much.
So I gotta do my homework to avoid any awkward tipping situation.
Always a good idea.
Yeah.
And when in doubt, it's better to be a little more generous than not enough.
Good life advice in general, I think, not just for airports.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, before we wrap up this section, I want to emphasize one more thing that's super important for smooth check-in. Confidence.
Oh, yeah. Confidence is key. I've seen people who maybe don't speak perfect English, but they exude this confidence, and they sail through the airport like it's nothing.
Absolutely. It's about believing in yourself, believing you can communicate. And if you're not feeling super confident,
Yeah, what then?
well, one of the sources, they had a great tip, practice. Practice those key phrases, those scenarios, so when you're actually at the airport, you're less anxious, more prepared.
It's like rehearsing for a play, right?
Mm,
The more you practice, the more comfortable you are on stage. Or in this case, at the check-in counter.
exactly. And remember, even if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Most people are pretty understanding. They want to help.
So I shouldn't let one little slip-up ruin the whole experience.
No way. Deep breath, smile, keep going.
It's amazing how much of this is just like your mindset. Be prepared, be confident, and ask for help if you need it.
You got it. It's not just about the language. It's your whole approach.
All right, we've covered a lot. Phrases, scenarios, those travel hiccups. What's the big takeaway you want our listener to walk away with?
The most important thing, airport check-in, even in a foreign language, it doesn't have to be stressful.
It's about having the knowledge, the skills to navigate it smoothly.
Exactly. Preparation, practice, positive attitude. That's the recipe.
So to our listener out there, as you pack for your next big adventure, remember these tips, pack your confidence, and get ready to check in like a pro. It's funny, right? We think of language and we're like, okay, it's how we share information.
Yeah.
But it's so much deeper than that.
Oh, absolutely. It's about connecting with people,
Right.
building those relationships,
Figuring out those tricky situations.
like checking into a flight when you're in another country.
Exactly. And it's crazy how even little improvements in our language skills, they can change your whole trip.
It's true. I remember this one time I was traveling, I won't say where, but let's just say my language skills were definitely being tested.
Oh, tell me more.
I was trying to order food at this little local place,
Okay.
and my pronunciation was all over the
Yeah.
place. My grammar was a mess. I was so embarrassed.
I've been there. You feel so lost, right? Like you can't connect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then, get this. The waiter, he must have seen I was struggling.
Yeah.
He switched to English. It wasn't perfect English,
Yeah.
but it was enough.
Oh, wow.
We could understand each other.
That must have been such a relief.
Oh, it was. It was like this light bulb moment,
Mhm.
Even basic language skills, they can really bridge that gap.
Like you said before, it's about building bridges, not walls.
Exactly. And that's why, getting those airport check-in phrases down,
Huh?
it's about way more than just getting that boarding pass.
It's about giving you the confidence to talk to people, to experience new things, to make those travel memories.
And who knows, you might even make some new friends along the way.
Okay, so we've talked about the practical stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also this whole personal growth side to it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
There's something so empowering about pushing yourself, talking in a new language.
Like you're expanding your world, not just like the places you go, but also like your mind.
Absolutely. And that feeling you get when you're like, I did it.
Yeah.
It can really motivate you.
It's like you're proving something to yourself, like, I can do this.
And that confidence
Yeah.
that can spill into other parts of your life too.
So mastering airport English, it's not just about smooth travels. It's about growing as a person.
Perfectly said. It's about enjoying the whole journey, the good and the bad.
All right, so to our listener out there who's getting ready for their next adventure,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this. Don't be afraid to mess up, to stumble over words, to ask for help.
It's all part of the process.
Celebrate those little wins.
Because learning airport English,
Or any language, really.
the rewards,
They go way beyond just being practical.
they make your experiences richer, they change how you see the world.
And they make you a more confident traveler, a more confident person.
Safe travels, everyone.
May your journey be filled with amazing discoveries, and not just the language kind.
Bon voyage.